Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the ton. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighborhood-friendly Kiwi Tash from Middle-earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her strong, confident, intelligent, independent, and dependable era.
Settle down onto your favorite settee, as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the ton. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and crack, deep diving into how chase lounges get broken. Into the connections of
deep diving.
Deep. I'll have what she's having. We cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers.
Dearest listeners, my glasses are as steamed up as the mirror in the drawing room of the Love Shack. As I blush to say, the Ladies Bridgerton are talking titillating, tasty treats about our favorite couple today. Penelope gets her final lesson and can now report how babies are made when a man and woman aren't even married. Sit back, relax, and sip your favorite beverage while we giggle and stammer and fan our way through the mirror scene.
Time for pod snacks. The pod snacks is a little old place we can get together. Pod snacks, baby.
Pod snacks, baby.
Pod snack, baby. Pod snacks. What is your pod snacks for the day? And I hope everyone enjoyed my rewritten lyrics to the Love Shack, because had to be today. Had to be.
Yeah. And I made more lyrics, but we weren't going to spend that much time singing it with the delay of an internet connection. Like when we sing our pod snacks, we're off by a second all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have to run out and grab my Crunch and Munch, because that's my pot snack. And I'm drinking some cranberry juice cocktail just because it was in my fridge and I need to finish it up. I had it here for my nephew, and a soda and some water. And while you say yours, you're eating ice cream. Wish I had ice cream.
I am eating ice cream today. I have a Magnum. I don't even know what kind. It's delicious. My dad brought them for me.
Is there caramel in it?
No, it's like a hokey pokey kind of. No, it's like a hokey pokey. I think it's hokey pokey, which is like a really, really iconic Kiwi flavor, which is a honeycomb flavor, Magnum. And it's got crunchy bits all on the outside. And then I also have, because we have to get through some very interesting scenes today, I have plum wine.
Well, I'll pretend like my cranberry juice cocktail is wine because I forgot to stop and get wine. But my favorite is a double caramel cruncher. I don't know. It's a chocolate on the outside, caramel on the inside, and vanilla ice cream, and it's delish.
My dad bought me these ones, which is my favorite then because they are free. No, actually, my favorite is a mint choc. Ow.
I'm weird about mint.
Funny bone whacked the computer desk. Now, do we have any...
We do have Bridgerton news.
Mm-hmm.
Season 5 is going to start filming in the spring.
In spring, yes. And then I saw, what is her name? Let me think for a second. Not Mally, Jane Garcia.
Did you see what
had also posted that she got reposted by Jane Garcia is really, really big in the Bridgerton groups, posts a lot of content, information, I guess. And she got reposted by Julia Quinn today, who replied to her commentary about Eloise and Sir Philip, specifically saying it's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. So it is going to be Sir Philip for those who naysayers.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I commented on Ainsley's post about it. That would be very interesting. I mean, it wasn't such a big deal for season 2 because at that point in time, we thought all the seasons were going to go in order. And then they threw us for a loop with season 3. Mm-hmm. So it was a big deal to announce who season 4 was going to be because we honestly didn't know. And now we're kind of like, is it going to be Eloise? Is it going to be Francesca? And they're going to have to announce it before season 4 even airs, which will be different.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
And I'm surprised that they upped the timeline on filming, and they really got season 4 edited super fast.
Which
Like,
confuses me as to why they're not releasing it then.
well, they still have to build a PR campaign.
We
And
are the PR
Netflix,
campaign.
honestly,
Just give it to us.
Netflix chooses the release date. I don't think Shondaland really does that.
They're asking to be cut.
Hmm?
Alrighty. Now I
You
do
say they're
believe.
asking to be cut.
Yeah.
Netflix, if we
Getting
see you
spicy.
promenading in the park, you are getting the cut.
Getting the cut.
Give us season 4.
And 5. Give it to us all. It was like when Taylor Swift released her album last time and then an hour later released like
Didn't she release 2 at the same time?
well, it's kind of the anthology, which is like it was I think 32, 34 songs, and I was like I haven't even digested the first 16 or 17, like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
It was a long day. It was full of excitement. So I'm like, maybe they'll do that to us. They just release 2 at once and make our they would never.
Yeah.
They would never, but
Get Peter Jackson, bust out 3 seasons in 3
mhm.
months, edit them all, bam, bam, bam.
That's because Kiwis know how to get things done.
Can you imagine Peter Jackson doing Bridgerton?
Well, he films everything in New Zealand, so I'm here for it.
I'd be there. I'd be there for it.
I will hand make you these sets, okay? They'll be terrible, but I'll do it all.
Yeah.
Will your costumes be made out of duct tape?
I will write. Just pay to get me there. I'll live with you. I'll write for free. Just yeah.
We'll
I would
film this
love to be a
ourselves.
part of it. The Peter Jackson version.
You and I will be every single member. We'll just split them down the middle.
Like that one TikToker doing Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
I was wondering if you had seen those recently, because they're actually the Mr. Darcy and Mr. Collins are they're iconic.
He got a role.
Did he?
He got a role in a Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, he goes how it started, and he showed him something. And then he goes and he's standing there like
there's a new guy who
shirt.
does it too, and he is like he sounds like Mr. Collins whenever he talks. He sounds like Mr. Collins.
Yeah, well, the guy that did it, and he like did the different pins and the different doilies on his head.
Yeah.
He was busy pinning his shirt, and then you start seeing cast members go by, and it's like when you don't need to play all of the characters anymore.
That's iconic. Okay, now we must make haste into today's episode. Okie dokie dokie.
Okay, it's not even like that. This is a super sweet first time thing. There's no porn music in Bridgerton.
Colin hires an orchestra to play porn music in the background.
They're in there like with violins.
Set the scene. Colin and Penelope are entering the love shack for the first time. I love how
what do we see?
Colin so proudly announces to Penelope that this is to be their home, not their house, not their apartment, not the love shack. Their
He's
home.
like, my brothers call it the love shack, but I don't know why.
But like realistically, wherever Pen is always going to be home to him. And you can see that this house has been. I think they don't say anything about it in the TV series, but in the books, he states that this house has been in his family forever. And now I'm a little confused because we have 2 different takes on this. So
no, didn't she move into his home in Bloomsbury? And he let that from someone else. Remember, he was at his house until he could find a place to live because he had been traveling for so long. He let a house in the book.
I thought
it was the one. She moved in with him.
I thought it was the one that had been in his family forever.
He had the Bloomsbury house. And when he first moved back at the beginning of the book, he had to live with his mother for like 2 weeks because he hadn't found a place to let yet.
Yes.
And he finally found one, but it wasn't ready.
I'm going to have to go back and read
them
it again.
saying, I think them saying
no, but that's not the part that I was mentioning. So the part that I was talking about is like we call this the love shack because it's like to me very, very clearly the place that Anthony hosted Sienna, shall we say. But Claire has been to all of the sets over in England, and she's saying that Sienna's place and the Love Shack are two different locations.
No, the reason we say the Love Shack is Sienna's place is because they use the same image of the front.
Yes.
They just invert it.
Yes.
So the set itself, the interior is different, except that both of them have the columns. Like somebody pointed that out on the internet when it first came out.
Colin's
But
columns.
the
Oh, that would be a fun little newspaper article. Colin's columns.
The elevation, which is what they call, the front of houses and stuff, the elevation is the same place. They just invert the image to make it look different, but it's not different. So that's why we call it the Love Shack, because it's the same.
Same but different.
So my observations upon them entering the home is
the blue blanket just stands out.
Well, and the audio description flat out says peacock. But I want to bring that up when they're getting busy, because
let me see
to
your
me
peacock,
that it's important there.
Peacock.
But when they first walk in, you see stuff in the corner, and I spent hours lightening the picture. Like, you see crepes already. You see a satchel that very much looks like his. I don't think it's the same one, but it's very close. Like, almost from the first time I saw this, I thought he's already moved stuff in, because everything else is covered except for the crates and the satchel and stuff in the back corner. And that's where he lays his coat. When he takes his coat off, he lays it over that stuff. Not like he's trying to cover it, but I feel like that's his stuff. I get that vibe. Like, his stuff is moved in, like some of his personal stuff that,
I'm just
like, I feel like he had things moved over already.
So I'm looking.
And that's why
my note, because I have something.
Because if they weren't going to live there, if they were not going to live there for 4 weeks or whatever, like, he moved in there to get it all fixed up for when they were married. He's the one who got their house together.
Oh yeah.
But he already had stuff moved in. This was not everything looks spur of the moment, because I'm sure we're going to talk about how he stands on business, and it seems like everything is a whirlwind. But remember, Daphne said Colin is crafty, and you have to watch out when he decides to make a move. Bam, he's already thought it all out, right? So when he walks in and everything's covered. The sofa has a cloth laying on it, except it's moved, and that blanket is there. I think he brought the blanket too. The mirror's uncovered. Even the chandelier up on the ceiling is covered with a cloth. The fireplace is covered with a cloth, but not the stuff in the corner where he lays his coat, not the mirror, and not where the blanket is laying on the chaise. And that blanket is clean and not dusty at all. I feel like this was planned. This was no spur of the moment thing. This was not spur of the moment.
Oh, no. No. He had been planning this for sure. I don't know how people don't see it, to be honest. Like,
right.
There was so many clues that led to him that, like, he had been playing this out. And I think he had two plans and he didn't know which one he was going to go with. Am I going to let her marry Dibbling, be protected, or protect her from Dundas and all that stuff?
And from us reading the book for the podcast last time, the line that got me is where he thought of the fact that she could have married someone else by this point and he would have lost out, and he was frozen. It said he would have froze. Like, he was frozen with fear that could have happened. And I think that's what Jess Brownell and the writers were trying to depict with Debbling. I think Colin's plan A and plan B were, if I can get Penn to admit her feelings for me during the lessons, that's plan A. If I cannot, by a certain point, I'm going to propose anyway. That's plan B. He did not plan on Debbling, right? So once Debbling entered the picture and she was excited about having somebody show her attention and everything, he froze with fear. They actually wrote that out. So I think that one line from their first time scene in the book became episodes 3 and 4, and somebody in the writer's room having a thought process of, what would it look like if Colin had to actually watch that instead of just imagine it? And that's how we got Debbling.
Yeah.
But some of my observations when they walk in is, one, I think Colin planned this out and he immediately goes to, like, this is our home. It's unfinished. Everything's covered over. It's dusty. It hasn't been used in a long time. You can tell that. There's a couple elements of new, and Miss Penelope was too busy in her own brain to really pay attention. But he was wanting to play pretend. Let's play house. Let's play like we're already married, right? And she was so quiet and just not engaging with him. And to me, this was my first time. It's in my notes that this is the first time we have a mirror scene that's mirroring another scene in the same season.
Yes.
It's mirroring the drawing room lesson where he walks around and he's like, let's pretend we're at a ball. And, the quintet's over here and the mamas are over here. He's like, we're going to add our own furnishings and everything else and add our own little touches. And he keeps looking at her and she's not engaging like she did in the drawing room. She's not got her hand on her hips and quirking a smile at him. And he's getting more and more insecure. So that's when he finally asks, are you worried we're here alone? Because that was he could make her feel at ease at Bridgerton house, even though they were alone because she's been there before. And he was worried here about if she's worried that they're alone because this is unfamiliar territory.
I feel like he was almost shy. Like, well, she's been used to Featherington House and, she comes over to Bridgerton House and this isn't that. Like, and he starts explaining, oh, well, it's not finished yet. Like, a feeling that he knows all too well. He feels unfinished.
Yes.
And now he's presenting her an unfinished house.
Yep.
And I love that he says, once we lay out some of our furnishings and decorations, I love that.
Yeah, when she moves in there after she gets married, it's completely done.
But I love that within 24 hours this man has gone from an I to a we.
Yes. Yeah, he's like our, we, us, this is our home. Not this is our house. This is to be our home.
Well, we're about to make the heir of Featherington House. Speaking of...
Oh, and I want to point out, too, that the colors in the room are blue
green
and yellow. And
I was going to say the green and gold. Like, it's the walls, to me, were like...
The bottom of the walls is yellow.
Yes.
Penelope, it's almost the same yellow as Featherington House yellow walls.
Mm-hmm.
And then the top part of the wall, or the wainscoting, because that's the bottom, it's wainscoting is yellow. And then the top part of the wall is a deep blue inside a green border. Like the border of it's green. If you're looking at that wall behind where the satchel and the crates are, it's blue and green and yellow on the bottom. Very Polin coded.
Very Polin coded. I actually really like the decorations of that.
Oh, and I want to say this for my notes because I think it's important. As he's uncovering things, like he is the one stripping away the covering so that she can see his vision more clearly, right? Mm-hmm. Much like
he is about to uncover her.
The way he uncovers her is like he unwrapped a present. But when he takes off his clothing, he is stripping away his armor. He's stripping away and uncovering himself and laying himself bare to her so she can fully see him. Because he just said, you see me like I've never felt seen before. And he's stripping away the last bit of cover so that she can fully see him. And I really felt that was imagery, him pulling off the dust cloths because he's trying to show her the beauty underneath, like the value underneath, much like he's trying to present himself to her. Like, I promise you, there's something worthy of you in here.
And speaking of that moment before we even get there, Colin was a little presumptuous here because he takes Pen's continued silence for reservation about being alone. This man really goes on to say, well, since we are to be married, sir, you knew exactly why you brought her. Like, there wasn't even like, he wasn't even like,
oh no.
He wasn't even trying to cover up that this is why he brought her here. Like, it was, hey,
right. No,
I want to finish the carriage scene.
And like the first time I saw this, I was like, oh, he's so insecure. He's worried about what she thinks. But I've watched it. I mean, come on. We've all watched this scene about 9,727,236 times.
37, actually.
Yeah. Give or take one or two. But the more I watch this, the more I realize, and this feeds into my belief system with the Aphrodite shoulder scene later. when they're married. I think he was planning her first time in a very romantic way, had planned it all out, and was hoping she'd be on board, but she's literally giving him nothing. And he's starting to freak out, right? And
Yeah.
he doesn't want to say out loud, you do it with me. you know, he's trying to be gentlemanly and dance around the Regency bush, so to speak.
Sir. Sir.
But he's like, but I thought since we were married, wink, wink, hint, hint.
Like, it was so brazen, especially of
Yeah.
those times. It was so brazen because, yes, she
I
let him
mean,
take liberties with her, but like, there's liberties and then there's liberties.
well, I don't think after what just happened with Portia, she would have said no anyway. And I think he would have very much honored her no if she
Oh,
had
like,
said no.
yeah,
But this was so sweet to me because this really felt like a first time. It felt like his first time.
it was.
It
I
felt like he wanted a first time and he planned it out, and it's in a private place where they won't get interrupted, and it's got like everything his little boy fantasies could ever think of. Like the mirror's uncovered, okay, everything is covered, yet that sofa's perfectly, it's not angled toward the fireplace, folks, it's angled toward the mirror. It's even with the mirror, it's away from the fireplace. It's at a weird angle. You're not looking at the fire. You are
he
looking
may
at
not
the
have been playing
mirror.
the porn music, but he set up the porn scene.
He did. He set up the, well, we're just gonna happen to walk into this house and I'm just gonna happen to show her around, and whoops, her dress fell off.
Whoops, there's a couch. Whoops, we made a baby.
And it's got that perfect peacock blue blanket that is bright and shiny clean. I almost wonder if he didn't have it made and it's brand spank new because it's shiny and not dusty at all, not crumpled at all. You know what I mean? Like it might as well
Hmm.
have just been like super folded, like it just came from the store. I would like if he'd unzipped it from plastic, like I just got this at the Walmart.
I wanted you to be comfortable.
But yeah,
Um,
this was set up ahead of time. He already had the key. That man planned this. Everything shows it, people.
so this is when Penelope explains that no, she is not nervous and that no one has ever stood up for her the way that he did to her mum. And I'm like, well, that's not true. Colin has stood up for you that way before, but he is Colin, so I guess so. But the way that he looks at her with his whole heart and says, I will always stand up for you because I love you, Pen. And her little gasp and almost the shake of her head as if even now she still can't believe it and asks,
Mm-mm.
are you sure? Just like from the
And
book.
she still can't because the captions say
Yeah.
in parentheses tearfully.
Yes.
And this is like a surreal, I have two things to say here. This is a surreal moment for her because
Just
she has
two.
looked up, yeah, she has looked up in the same manner at someone taller than her who is telling her Colin Bridgerton does not, could not, will never possibly love her. And now she is looking up at Colin Bridgerton
She's green eggs in ham.
saying, saying,
Would not,
I
could
love
not.
you.
In a tree, could not, would not.
And if this was Anna Green Gables, I would expect her to reach over and pinch herself. Like I just needed to make sure I wasn't dreaming. But this is the perfect time to bring up because when I first watched this scene, very first time, I thought when he said, I will always stand up for you because I love you, I was like, well, there was one time you didn't stand up for her. And she didn't say anything about that here. And I now know why, because she no longer believes he was cutting her down. She just had the same moment. She just had a karmic moment with her mother where she got engaged to the man she loves,
Yeah.
and she only wanted to tell people she felt safe to tell. So she understands that her and Colin were having a romantic moment at the Featherington Ball. They had spoken words, but when asked by Lord Fife,
Yeah.
could she really think Colin would actually say, yes, I love her, I plan on proposing tomorrow to Lord Fife? No. She now understands the position he was in there and has forgiven him. That's why this doesn't come up here at all. There's no need for it to, because she has now experienced the same thing and she understands. So for everyone out there, get off Luke Newton's case. Colin Bridgerton did what he had to do in the moment, and it was just unfortunate that Penelope heard it.
Yeah.
And she's done forgiving him, so we can too. It's not about suffering. He doesn't need to suffer anymore. I'm so tired of TikTokers are still saying Colin needed to suffer more.
He punished himself plenty.
He went out before we started recording.
But Pen
She just wants crunch and munch.
Pen wants so desperately to love by this man, not any man.
Yes.
Like
this
even if like so going back to her conversation with Debling, where
I
she's
feel you.
yes. Going back
I know that feeling.
Going back to her conversation with Debling, and she's asking, you know, I know you have, you know, so much love in your heart for your passion, for your hobbies, for your interests, whatever, but do you think there is enough room in your heart for me? And I feel like she was doing everything to try and convince herself that she could grow to love him the way that he loves his hobbies, or love him enough that she could be comfortable in life but not happy. Like, yeah. That at least it wouldn't be quite like her mum, because in her eyes, he at least wasn't. And I don't think he was as bad as Archibald. I think they would have had a.
He wouldn't be. He would just. He'd
be dead.
She would be. She would be controlling. She would be controlling the estate. So
yeah,
the money wouldn't. She already knows she's good with money.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't have to worry about money.
Yes.
She wanted love.
But that's the thing, is I think she was doing anything to try and convince herself, well, maybe if he loves me, but no. I think even if he had said, yes, I do believe I could grow to love you one day, I think it would have still ended in the exact same way, because she knew she could never love her.
If Colin showed up to break up that dance, yes. Even if Debling said, yes, yeah. I'm already starting to fall for you. I think I have feelings for you. He still hadn't proposed. If Colin came in and broke up that dance, she would still choose Colin Bridgerton, because that is her lobster.
To be honest, even if he had proposed, it would have been on the way. It would have just been changed into on the way to the wedding. For those who don't know, that is the youngest boy, Gregory's, because that's, spoiler alert, what happens in his book. She still goes through with it, literally all the way through the wedding. And
it shouldn't have been on the way to the wedding.
A Bridgerton gets their love one way or another. They're very tenacious beings. But
a marriage does not stop a Bridgerton in love. That's what the title of that one should have been.
Is it consummated? No, we're good. But yes, she was desperately wanting to be loved by Colin, no one else. And she'd been told her whole entire life, he will never love you. He will never see you that way. You're just a little girl to him. You're just his little sister's best friend. You're just like a little sister to him. Like every way to try and demean Penelope in any way that they could, they did it with her. So she, even though he's saying the words, she cannot, she's hearing them, but I think she is someone who needs to feel them, through actions and consistency, because she has been told her whole life. So to her, words, and especially when words in her household have been used against her whole life, I don't think words hold a lot of weight for her.
No, because there's a lot of times that she heard something, yet the opposite was what was really happening.
Yes, especially out of her mother's mouth.
We're fine.
Yeah.
But Varley's got this new German recipe called potato salad. We're trying that tonight because she just is in love with cooking potatoes right now. But we're fine. We're good.
So Penelope asks, are you sure? And the way that Colin gives that tiny smile as he nods melts my heart, because that smile and nod has always been there to reassure her. All through the seasons, every time that she's ever unsure, even from season 1,
debut day,
walking down the debut aisle, and he gives her that little, imperceptible to anyone else.
Barely moves his head, doesn't want anyone to know he's looking.
Because Colin knows that Pen always has eyes on him, and she will catch it. So for him, he doesn't have to do these big grand gestures. He is the queen of the micro expression. And then he says...
He's the queen?
Sorry, king. King. I mean...
He's the McQueen of the micro expression.
He's the McQueen of the micro. Thank you. And he says, everything I said to your mother is true. and you should see it too.
as well.
This man, he goes from like this girl having had like literally the most scandalous thing she's ever done in her life is touch Colin's hand without gloves on. And then within 24 hours goes from public indecency, because anyone could have seen through those open curtains, so it's public indecency, mirrors, like we're going full throttle here, Colin Bridgerton.
Well, and you know, because we did the two scenes, same vibe for YouTube. So I wanted to look at this part in a kind of different way and take the words that he says, because he is wanting her to see what he sees, and he chooses his words very carefully. He is, as we said, in two scenes, same vibes. If you haven't watched that video, it's up on YouTube. He is
Well,
repeating her speech, her purpose speech from
but
the
I think
wedding
it's
back
really
to her.
I think it's really important to set, like, Colin has turned her around. He has her place right in front, and he is
Mhm.
directly behind her, touching her. And I feel like that's almost,
His
you've always
hands are on
seen,
her elbows up until the point he takes her hair down, though.
yes,
Like
but
he's holding her in place, like she might run. Like he's keeping her held there where she has to look at herself
like, but
while he's talking.
this moment for me, before we even get onto the two scenes thing, is you have been showing me who I am for all these, not showing
Mhm.
me, but like believing in me, believing in the best of
Mhm.
me for all of these years. You've written me letters of encouragement. You've spoken words of encouragement. You have been my friend,
Mhm.
and you have built me up like no one else. And now I want you to see through my
Yeah,
eyes. This is
you're
what
kind of
I
saying
see.
what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, because I was just thinking of his actual speech. Like he says, "You are the cleverest, bravest woman I've ever known," and I'm like, okay. So let's look at these words for those who think that he fell in love when he kissed her. When has Colin see her be clever? This has been building. When they are having that conversation at the wedding in season two, he even says like that, you know, that's profound. That's a very profound way of thinking or whatever. But he has listened to her and Eloise talk for years. He knows she's clever. But the big one for me is like, when has he seen her be brave? He knows Penelope. He knows her walking down those stairs and across the dance floor in that dress took every ounce of bravery she had. He knows it.
Yes.
And then he says, you've made me feel seen in ways I've never felt seen before. How long? When was that? The letters. He said that same thing to her at Danbury's soiree. So this man has acknowledged he has loved her for a long time. It's all there all the time. I just really hate when say he's obtuse.
He is not like
Um,
he in this moment he is connecting things all the way back from season one. Like,
yeah.
and
Like when has her hair been
this is
cascading?
spanned
Her
years.
her hair was over her shoulder some in season one and a lot of times in season two, especially at the wedding. Like, I think at season two, like, if this would have been modern times, he'd have been like, let's go steady. I think he wanted to, his little drunk self. He was like, look at her. She's so yellow and pretty. And he
So
pulls her hair down on the side where that side of her hair cascades down, and her hair looks exactly like it did when she was at the wedding, hanging over that shoulder.
yes, because the scene goes. Colin turns Penelope to the mirror as he tells her, "You make me feel seen in ways I have never felt seen before." And then there is the way your hair cascades down your shoulder, the way your eyes shine when you look at me like two blue pools. Now,
Which we can now blame Julia Quinn for that. We know where that faux pas came.
so how about twin sapphires? Oceans caught in her gaze, twin mirrors of a summer sky, shards of glacier ice, stormless seas, twin sparks of turquoise fire, blue lanterns glowing softly, twin horizons of endless blue, eyes like dew-kissed cornflowers. Come on, if ChatGPT can come up with better options, what are you doing, Bridgerton crew? Use ChatGPT if you have
They
to.
took two pools from Julia Quinn's novels, what they did. They added blue because I don't think Penelope's eyes in the book were blue.
They were brown.
Yeah.
They were brown.
So yeah,
I was
that's
and
hilarious.
the
You
funny
made
thing,
Chat GPT do.
I did. I did. My notes say add options from ChatGPT in big bold letters. It will forever be one of my like really stupid gripes that I
Hold on.
just
I'm going to do it right now. You keep talking, but I'm going to do it right now and see if Chat GPT gives me different.
well, I actually did it originally and I got more sentency like ones and they were way better. And that's what I was trying to find before on my phone when I wasn't responding, is I was trying to find where I'd screenshot them. I thought I'd sent them to you, but apparently I hadn't. And I hadn't apparently
Mm-mm.
saved it either. And I was upset because they were really good.
I am typing it like a script, like it would have been the writer's typing.
And then it continues. The firmness of your lips parted just so. The softness of your skin. That bit kind of makes me think of how often he did anything to touch her. Like he was touching her whenever he could. Like he's taken her hand
Mm-hmm.
all over the show. Like obviously not quite as brazen
Tides,
as Simon.
tides that pulled me in without mercy.
Love it.
Ocean that held both storm and calm, a sky just before dawn, endless and waiting, a blue that knew every secret of the sea, like ice that could burn. That's when she's mad.
Oh yeah. That's like
Yeah,
you
what
had
he's
so
been
many
dreaming about,
options there.
what he's been dreaming about, like every time, and everybody, like there's so many edits out there about Colin Bridgerton getting in Penelope's space. She is the sun and he rotates around. Like her body is a magnet for his hand. The fact that he was able to keep his hands off of her when he could is a testament to his will.
He's not quite as brazen as Simon, who ran his fingers like in a ballroom with watching eyes, knowing that they are both the incomparable and also the most sought after gentleman of the season. That was brazen, him running his fingers down her spine while dancing. So, I mean, Colin was a little bit more reserved than that, but like he also got a lot more opportunity to touch her.
But Anthony also got away with it.
No, Colin. Sorry, Simon.
Oh yeah, Simon. But Anthony kissed his wife, which was still
Yes, but
brazen,
wife. Yeah.
and put his hand, like their hands up to their faces, like their hands were touching, still brazen. They were not husband and wife then.
And then there are other parts I've been dreaming about. The way that he said that tells you just how entranced he is as he strokes his hand down her body. Like it in a way less romantic way reminds me of I love you. Like when you're so
Yeah,
like
I love you.
I've been dreaming about. Yeah, just the way that he says that, I was like, less romantic, but Pride and Prejudice vibes, Darcy vibes for sure.
Well, and can you imagine? I mean, this girl has gone from being told he could never love you, no one would want you, there is no hope for success, to not only hearing she's loved, but that she's beautiful, desired, and dreamt about in a span of 2 minutes. No wonder she turned around and got on her little trampoline to bounce up and kiss him.
Well,
Her poor calves.
his hand curve up under her breast, and when Penelope stops his hand there, she squeezes his hand onto her breast. I was like,
He
girl is
didn't
ready.
squeeze, she did.
She's
Yeah.
she squeezed his hand there. I was like,
Mhm.
girl is ready. Before she then turns to kiss him repeatedly. And when I initially watched the scene, I was like, oh, I don't think Nicola realizes that she's meant to be playing a virgin. But then in the book, it does say specifically she doesn't know what she's doing, but whatever she's doing, she's kind of going to do it with fervor because, like, she
She's going to
wants to
make up for
be.
it with fervor. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to be an active participant. So, like, what I make up for in skill, I make up for in enthusiasm.
She's like, fake it till I make it.
Doesn't have to fake nothing. And then
She's
he
like
says,
bohemian. She's like, if it feels good, I'm going with it.
and then he says, "You must tell me to stop if you do not wish for this." I'm like, she is actively needing a step stool to continue her assault on you, and you think that she wants to stop.
And
Someone
as I
get that
said,
girl a
like
step stool before she pulls a hamstring.
or like her Achilles tendon. I alluded to this before. Like Colin Bridgerton is the king of consent. Colin Bridgerton is so female forward and he's very progressive in his views regarding women. This is the one line of the patriarchy I think no romance movie or anything has ever gotten away from. They still leave it the responsibility of the woman to stop a man. And
I actually think that even in the brothels, Colin would have said the same to those women. Please tell me if there's anything you're not comfortable with.
I agree, but I think there's a better way of, like, if he would have just said, if it gets to be too much, let me know, or you can tell me to stop and I will.
If you need me to
You
go
know, because
slower, you set the boundaries.
yeah, like, I mean, if he would have told her she was in charge, do you know what the fans would have done? We'd have lost our mind.
But I don't think he would have ever said you're in charge, because he's like, I
But
need
I
to
mean,
do
not
this for
that.
her.
It's
I need to give her a
he
good
thinks he needs
experience,
to do everything because she doesn't know what she's doing.
because a man has an education and a woman doesn't.
But he could also say something along the lines of, you are setting the pace. If anything doesn't feel well, like in the book, if something doesn't feel good to you, let me know. And she's like, everything will feel good because it's you. Why couldn't they have used that?
And it's like, I'm sorry, Penelope, but that's just simply not true. There are suddenly
Like,
things that feel better than others. And there's suddenly
yeah,
things that, like, no matter how much they love you, like, sometimes certain areas need prepping,
or just hurt sometimes.
yeah, like, because you need extra prep work, and no matter what you do, I mean, I can't speak for all women, obviously, but like, it's just gonna hurt.
Something, yeah, some things are just going to hurt. But like, even though it was awkwardly said, it was very sweet in the book, but it was awkwardly said, but that would have been better, because then we're hearing, no matter where we are, because here he is saying, you have to tell me to stop because
Yeah.
I won't. If he would have said, if anything doesn't feel good, doesn't feel comfortable, tell me to stop and I will, that comes off different, right? It's not like the responsibility of us, of your virtue, has to be on you. Now it gets to be your decision. It just feels different to me.
How do you feel? Do we talk about the scene and then talk about this, or like, I
What
don't
are we
know
talking
how
about?
I feel about the fact of, like,
That they kiss
is that
twice more and then he
this
whips
serious
her
hell for a third time
around.
in a week? What is happening? New
Are
Zealand,
you having plague?
what are you doing, sir?
Do you guys piss off God or something?
Maui, but yeah, I don't chill out, dude. Like, I know you
Maui's up there going, you're welcome.
like, just to break the scene. So I don't know how I feel about like him stopping like physical intimacy to be showy in front of a mirror, which is more of a sexy advanced thing rather than a first time thing, if that makes any sense.
I know it seemed awkward, but I know why they did it. One, they did it for the fans because of the mirror. But the reason Colin did it, his motivation is that he knows that Penelope is insecure. And now, after hearing her mother and hearing the ladies of the ton say, with no possibility for success, he knows what she must think about herself, that he wants her to see his face, like, see herself, see her own body. The looking glass doesn't lie. And see his reaction, see his face when she's undressed.
I hear that
and
side
if
of it.
if she's looking at herself in the mirror, she is not going to be focused on him fumbling with her corset, because I don't think ladies of the night wear a lot of that stuff.
I don't know, but like, I know what you're I know what you're saying.
Focus, Tosh.
Stephen, the bloody little bastard, last week goes, Tosh, your ADHD is showing, and I'm like, stop it, leave me alone. I was like running from room to room, like, unpack this, unpack this, unpack this, and never focus on one box. It was just zit, 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 zit. So
my suitcase still isn't unpacked. I just pulled it out of the car after I DoorDash today.
I don't know how I feel about the fact of, like, I know that he wants to build up her self-esteem, and he wants her to feel sexy, and that she is desired, and that he is like ravenous for her, not for sex, for her. Now, I do get that part, but at the same time, what is her other biggest insecurity? That Colin Bridgerton will never love her. And not saying that kissing equates to love, but it certainly equates to connection, which is why a lot of ladies of the night will not kiss because of that. And
But he
also
also knew
germs.
too, she was not going to be able to undress herself. He was going to have to help her. Dresses at that time were laced and sewn. There weren't buttons really,
Hmm.
which he had buttons on his stuff. Women's clothing really didn't have buttons yet. I don't know why his all did. I'd have to look that up. But she was going to have help. That's why they had ladies' maids, multiple ladies' maids. Women had to be dressed and undressed.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
was
So
going to have to help her.
practically,
So he just faced
yes.
her towards the
But
mirror.
it just felt like
He didn't want to miss the
it just,
front coming. He
it
didn't want
just
to miss the
felt
front.
abrupt to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It felt
Well, I
like
think he's like,
not a
hey,
first time moment.
he's like, I'm way taller than her, and I'm gonna be stuck back here undoing all this shit. I still want to see the front. We're using this mirror.
It just felt like an advanced maneuver for a very unaware girl.
If we want to remember back to not the first brothel scene, but the second one with the mirror, I think he was recreating a moment in the moment that he was like, oops, can't look at those women because I'm imagining Penelope.
Mhm.
I think in that moment he's like, I'm not seeing their faces. I'm seeing someone else's face. And it had the mirror and stuff in there. So I think he was kind of living out a little fantasy himself. He's like, it's her first time. She ain't gonna know the difference.
So Colin turns her back around to face the mirror, and as he continues to undress her, she looks terrified to be watching herself in the mirror as she's been made to feel so unconventional, like she's been made to feel so
She's worried.
unconventionally attractive her whole life to now be bad so vulnerably. That would be terrifying. Like 2025. And like that would still be a lot for like for myself and my own body type and being made to feel unconventional, like
Yep.
to not be the standard of attraction sort of thing. It
Well,
would,
and they wore corsets. Women nipped and tucked themselves
yes,
to look more aesthetically pleasing, and all of that was coming off. This was her natural body,
yeah,
and no one had seen her natural body except her maid. And she's probably like, I don't even know. Like, what if I'm a blob? What if I'm Jabba the Hutt? I mean, like I think every person goes through that when they get naked for the first time with somebody. Like, what are they going to think about this wrinkle, this roll, this mole, this freckle, this
my tan
flaw
lines.
I have? The fact that my nipples never pointed out. Like neither do hers. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you from the fans who look,
it.
who are similar
And you can
breasted.
tell that she is feeling really vulnerable because she immediately covers her breast. And as I said from our book episode yesterday, slash you would have had it a week ago at this point, I really truly wish that he had taken her hands and said, no, I want to see all of your moment.
Pause. Game off, world.
Sorry, I had a brief intermittence. I was just organizing some babysitting for tomorrow because my girlfriend
That
is
was going
coming to
swimming.
town. Yeah, so I do wish that we got I wish we got a moment where he's like, I want to see them all. Please do not cover them up. Like I've
Yeah,
been
why are you
dream
covering the thing I just said I've been dreaming about?
Yes, like I have been dreaming of them. I want to see all of you. But instead, we do get quite the tantalizing line. He leans his head into her, which I love that feeling. Someone behind and like just like leaning their head into you. It's just a really like
Safe, warm. Yeah.
yes. Well, when it's a safe, warm person, yes. Leans his
Yes.
head into her, watching her, and says, lie down. But he says it in such a commanding way. And that was Nicola's line. Nicola was the
Mm-hmm.
one who came up with that line for him. She's like, this is the line that is going to make women across the world go weak at the knees. Girl, we weren't just weak at the knees. We became jellyfish.
Right. So I said, assertive man direction is sexy.
Oh.
I refuse to say daddy vibes because I think that's gross. I think the whole use of daddy anything, no. But when a man is assertive and gives direction without being manding,
Yes,
right? There's a different vibe. This
very.
is just assertive. This is we're doing
It's
this
my turn
now.
to take
Yeah.
it's my turn to take charge. I'm going to take care of
Yeah.
you.
And his voice got low and husky when he said it. Like he did not hide his attraction for her. And she's like, ooh, like it. I almost, if this wouldn't have been a first time, if he'd have done a little pat on her butt as she walked away, that would have been like it, just like, or led her back. Like if his hand, if they would have contractually allowed him to touch her when she was completely naked, like not under the blanket, and
Hmm.
you would have just seen him guide her like with his hand at her lower back as she
Hmm.
walks away, that would have like I would have had to pause. I would have had to pause that for a minute. Like, okay, I can go back to it.
Patty needs to go get her water.
Yeah, I need to go. This aired in June in the middle of the night. Like, I need to go get in a cold shower, take 10 minutes, come back.
So Penelope lays on the chase lounge and watches all so innocently as Colin begins taking off of his clothes. He stares at her with such intensity. As he starts undoing his cravat, she does this little nervous giggle at seeing Colin in such a state of undress, probably in disbelief that this is real. I love that little, like, like the little burst of giggle, like I'm seeing Colin Bridgerton, the boy that I've written Penelope Bridgerton, like his name in little love hearts with my name, with his last name in my notebook as a kid. And now this is reality. Like it's one of those
Well,
surreal moments.
I think before she knew what was what, she had, she has had this love for him forever. And it started when she was a girl and went through puberty and teenage years and everything else that I'm sure at some point, like I took that giggle as like I've thought of this moment so many times of how would or how could I see Colin Bridgerton without his clothes? You know what I mean? Like they don't go swimming like we go swimming today, where
Hmm.
you can kind of see the guy you have a crush on with almost nothing on. Like,
I'm
I
a
just
li-
think in that
I'm a
moment, she's like
little old fashioned, and I think some of the swimmers now are getting a
a
little too
little,
far,
yeah.
or a little too little, shall I
Well, when it
say?
looks like underwear, come on.
I mean, it doesn't look like underwear. It looks like nothing at all.
But I think that, well, you get away from the nude beaches, Tosh. It is nothing at all. The emperor has no clothes. But I think in that moment, she's like, I can't believe this is happening. I've thought about this. I've imagined this, like all that time alone in her room, or like reading Lady Chatterley's or something of that nature. Because she was a reader, that she had imagined Colin Bridgerton taking his shirt off for her. Like she, as a young girl, she probably was like, what if Colin Bridgerton chopping wood, like thinking of what she would see servants do around her home,
Hmm.
like imagining Colin taking off his shirt to do something. I could see Penn doing that. And she's just like, I can't believe I'm sitting here. I can't believe this is me.
This reminds me of actually the Rokesby book, which is my favorite one, because Poppy sees a man on the port in Spain, Portugal. I'm going with Portugal. How many times can I say Portugal in one sentence?
And Spain, Portugal, Spain, Portugal,
Portugal.
Spain.
Duck, duck, goose. Um, anyway, on the ports, she sees a man and he's working really, really hard, like unloading boats on the
Mm-hmm.
docks, crates, whatever. And he's working really hard and he takes his top off and she is scandalized. And she comes up with this whole backstory of like he's widowed and he's got two children. There's a whole entire backstory. And then Andrew Rigsby comes in and sees her watching him. And then she's like, no, I wasn't looking at anyone. I was looking at the ports. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And here she is with like this entire backstory for this undressing man. Like, whew,
Well, I mean, ever since the balloon scene when he's pulling on that rope, I think she has envisioned,
those
I
strong
wonder what that would
arms.
look like without the shirt.
Hmm.
But I also think in that moment, she's thinking back to that time because that's the exact same outfit. I think she's
Hmm.
like, he was super sexy that day, and now I get to see him take off those clothes. Like, surreal. She is having such a surreal moment. Like, I can't believe this is me. Like, she's getting everything she ever didn't know she wanted.
As he starts getting down to unbuttoning his pants, girl looks hungry with anticipation.
She's trying her damnedest to keep her eyes north. It is not working. She's like, I can't let him see me looking. I'll look up. It's right in front of me. I
The
look up.
pants
I'll
drop
look up.
and she lets out a little moan.
I can't believe you bypassed the belt flip. How dare you?
I thought about adding those notes in, okay? It was sexy. And this is a big belt. It's a big belt.
Yeah, I don't think belts like that existed back then, but thank you, costuming department. Thank you. That's one of my Roman empires from this season is that belt flip.
Hmm.
I commented on a TikTok that cured years of trauma of abuse for me. Seeing that belt flip.
Seeing belts in a whole other way now.
Yeah.
And we get to see his pecky butt reflected in the mirror.
But I love the look of vulnerability when he officially drops his trousers and he pauses, like he is just as afraid as she was in front of the mirror
Because this is the first
of
time he's
what
like
she's gonna
fully
think.
bearing himself to someone in such a raw way.
Yes, he stripped himself, like I said, with him pulling the drop cloths
Yes.
off everything. He had to strip everything away. He wanted her to fully see him, and now he is just as nervous. And I think in that moment he kind of had that feeling too, like this is my first time. Like yes, he's had experience,
This is his
but
first time making love.
this is going to be different.
Yes. And I do very much agree that like I think he also wanted to make himself vulnerable. Like I stripped Penelope down. She was vulnerable. I need to do the same. We need to go into this equally on equal footing. And the only way
Mhm.
to do that is, do unto others as you would do to yourself.
Well, and honestly, because he doesn't say, I'll do everything until he's already on the chaise with her. I think through this whole part, he wants her first time to be perfect because it's Colin. He's seeking perfection. He doesn't feel like he's enough. So I think in this moment, he's taking off his own clothes because he doesn't want her to have any kind of moment of feeling like she doesn't know what to do and feeling like she's inexperienced. And he almost doesn't want her to know how experienced he is because
Mhm.
remember, he knows she's read his journal and he doesn't know how far she's read. So he's worried about what she's going to think of him and his knowledge.
Yeah.
So he's kind of keeping her from feeling inexperienced. He doesn't want her to feel inexperienced because that will shine a light. The whole room's bathed in light. He'd rather shine a light on his skin rather than shine a light on his potential, his experience and what she thinks his
Mhm.
experience is. I think he does want them to be on the same footing and her to feel like it's a first for him as well.
Well, while shining a light on it, Penelope tries to clear her throat whilst blinking at the sight of it. She is like completely Nicola, you did a phenomenal job here because
Very similar to Daphne's reaction too, I might add.
like
Like that
the
must be a
wide
romance thing.
doe eyes, really? That goes, okay. And I mean,
Feel you, girl. Been there.
by the description of the books of first he put in an inch and then another few and then he went all the way, like she's got a bit to
Yeah, but
deal with.
that's not about my issue with the book wasn't about his size. The way she gives off, Colin Bridgerton is endowed. My issue is
BDE.
where in anatomy they
Yes.
think
I
her
know.
hymen is.
Yes.
Like, come on. What do you think she has a 10-inch canal? Come on.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying this part is no wonder she's looking doe-eyed and like, I don't
I
understand the
think
dynamics of
and, sh-
this.
and she's trying not to, that's really it. Like, where's that supposed to go? But I think too that she's enjoying herself and she kind of feels a little scandalized, like she's not supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It
Well, I
kind of
mean,
gives that
as it says
vibe.
from the book, like the only chat that my mum ever gave us about this, like she didn't include anything about this.
Yeah, but Penelope didn't get a chat at all. Her mother just found out.
Mm.
She knows nada.
So Colin comes to join Penelope on the lounge, but before he even touches her, he says, "You are so beautiful," before kissing her. And then he pulls the covers up to protect her modesty. And I actually think that that was a Luke thing, protecting
Yeah.
Nicola's modesty, because I believe that it would have been really uncomfortable for Nicola being that naked in front. I think you can disassociate a little bit being on camera because a camera's not a person. You can forget it's there or whatever, whatever. But being in a room full of people all watching you do this live, I feel like would have been really nerve-wracking. And
Well, and I took that way too. Like that was definitely a Luke Newton thing, but it worked for the scene for me
yes.
because he wanted the mirror for what had already occurred, and he did not want her because they don't call it bumping uglies for nothing.
Hmm.
It's not always pretty, and I feel like he covered part up to a certain spot because if she would look over at the mirror, she might be horrified and not be as
I mean,
open.
and you
And
get cold. Like this girl likes herself a blankie wrapped around, okay?
I'm wearing my blanket poncho. But what I said was the fact that in the audio description. So I did some research about audio transcription, especially with Netflix and most streaming services. They usually have a third party do it, and you can submit a script, but most people just they submit the show itself a little bit early from when it's uploaded, and then the audio transcription just follows along with the scene and describes the scene as it's playing. But Netflix and Shondaland, and for Bridgerton specifically, like they were trying their best not to have things leak, not to have scenes get out, and they were very secretive, especially about the second half. So I believe they went the second route, which is you can submit your own audio
I reckon
transcription
they would have done that.
scripting and then the audio transcription. So the fact that the words peacock blue were in this, that was important, and it was a clue, like it was foreshadowing, which the queen is wearing the peacock eye dress. So I almost feel like this blanket is their protection.
Yeah.
They are open, they are exposed, but this blanket is hiding them from the queen, from the ton, from the mamas. Like this is their moment. That blanket is their bubble.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. So next she then asks Colin to tell me what to do, to which he replies that he will do everything. And she says, "No, tell me," which was another book scene.
Straight
Girl
from the book,
wants
yep.
the full experience.
Yeah, she's like, I paid for the VIP package.
Treat me like a princess.
It's like, talk me through it. I want to hear your voice tell me what to do. Thanks.
I'm so excited. My bestie is leaving her town, city, location, whatever you want to call it, to come see me. R.I.P. her knee.
And I just want to say, like the last podcast, which we recorded yesterday, but you guys will hear these a week apart. We talked about some of the things we didn't like in the book rendition or what was different between the book and the show. And personally, considering they're so exposed, and this is the first time the book went, it's dark, light a candle, one candle got lit. There's barely any light. I love that this room is just
would have
bathed
revolted.
in light.
You know how passionate we'll say I am about the lack of lighting in Bridgerton scenes and how I can't I spy the backgrounds because of it. F you, Bridgerton. You can afford the candles.
You would have been. I told you the story about the girls sitting behind us at House of McQueen, right? And I just heard the one girl go, she goes, "Remind me when we go back in time," something, something. I didn't hear the rest of it. I just started chuckling. I turned around and was like, "Did you just say remind me when we go back in time?" And she's like, "Yeah." So you would be like doing this podcast, like, remind me when we go back in time that I am storming that set. They are gonna have some
more
light
candles.
Well, and for all we know, the timeline was that they still did it dark, and we did go back in time and make them change it.
We made them change it because I'm just a Snoopy girl and I want to see everything, okay?
I love that it was bathed in light, and the two of them are fully seeing each other. Because for this friends to lovers and that transition, that needed to happen. Because when Colin goes through what he has to go through later, does he really know her? He does. This is her. Like she's the person she is here, completely bared to him. Not just a naked thing, but the vulnerability, the asking to know what to do. She wants to participate. She wants to be even with him, partners, a team. That's his Penelope.
Yeah. So he says, "You could touch me anywhere." Not there.
And I wish they would have done the thing from the book.
Anywhere, Sarah, includes there. You said anywhere.
I mean, I understand they needed her hands outside the blanket, so that part would be funny. But in the book, she has already touched him and her hands were on his assets. So I think that would be funny. That would have been funny if she's like, if he said, you could touch me, and she said, where? And he said, anywhere. And she had her, maybe her hands on his back or on his shoulders or something. And she's like, I am touching you, like, because she did the up into his hair thing again. And I'm like, come on, Nicola, that's old. You did that already. Where are you going? Like, let's go somewhere else. You got a naked man in front of you. You really want to touch the hair on his head again?
He didn't. This played out the same as the book, because it says she got down the springiness of his hair, and
that was on his legs. Her hands were on his butt. When she started moving her hands, they touched the hair on his leg.
Why are the hair on his legs springy?
Because it's more curly and springy hair. Haven't you ever touched a man's leg? Where have you been?
He
has straight.
I don't know what men you're touching, but like in New Zealand.
You're like in New Zealand. But it is like if you have
the
a man
only
with
men
a really
who have springy
leg,
leg hair is my family. That's because they're Greek and there's hair everywhere.
I've touched a few men's legs that have springier, like it bounces.
Oh, we need to move on from this conversation.
But I was like, what are you talking about?
When I read springy, like, let me just.
I will send you some legs. I will show you.
I will send
what
you
springy looks like.
Hey, Smog, can I have a picture of your leg?
I got a picture. Sent me a picture where he wanted to plant his flowers. And it's sitting. It is sitting on his legs. I'm sending it to you. Hold on.
Sagging back. Okay, I'm looking for grasp around. Oh,
hold on. I have to go into my hidden folder. Nobody gets to see these legs but me. Oh, wait. Put it in there. The hidden folder's for the hand. Boy, I'm giving a lot of information away.
Smoke has springy hairs on his leg. Find him now, everyone. She grabbed his buttocks, pulling him closer. No, he insisted. Move them like this.
Yeah, send this picture.
His hands slid forward. Her hands slid forward until they were dangerously close to his member, like this. Abruptly, he covered one of her hands with his, not
yeah,
now
her hands never left his leg area, and then she came around by the groin. That's his leg hair.
I thought you said that he had that she had grabbed it.
In the show, she touched his hair, the hair on his head.
Sorry, I thought you were saying that she had touched him and his as Bridgerton.
No,
as Julia
I just sent you the picture. Zoom in. That's some springy leg hair.
That's not what that's not what I was thinking. I was like up.
Oh, his thighs.
Yeah,
I can't send you a picture. I can't send you a picture.
I was like, Patty, how short are his shorts? Those aren't shorts, those are underwear.
Are not short.
I'm like, what are you sending me here?
No, he's more modest.
To be fair, let the record say I have sent you a picture of Stephen's butt before.
The background, the only thing that saved me from seeing your husband undress was our Ladies Bridgerton background. Because when you get so far back from the camera, it blocks you out.
The green screen, yeah.
So as he kept leaning forward to like grab something, it was like he was going in and out. I was like, I think he's undressing. Oh my God. And I was like, close my eyes, like, my eyes.
It's so wide and firm.
I saw nothing. Thank God. I would have had to been like, Tosh, we're officially now.
Okay. She starts with his face. Oh, I need to stop. She starts with his face, running her hands up his neck and down his back, then reaches forward to grasp it. Colin jerks. Not there. Not yet.
And then he laughs to himself a little bit. I love that.
But it's just like
my sweet summer child.
He knows that she's got no education, and yet he told her, touch anything. Like, if I can touch anything.
You little brazen hussy is what he's like. I love, like, it's that line from the book where he's like, she's like going for it, right? And he
Hmm.
goes, where he almost lost her, like, how did he get so lucky that God gave him this woman?
Hmm.
That's that little chuckle with Colin
Hmm.
right there. Like, God gave a want, woman is a wanton.
Girl wants her snacks.
Yes,
Um,
she wants her sweet treat.
I think he is so beyond ready for her that he is afraid of being a little
Yeah,
premature. He's like, if this girl touches
premature.
me, I'm about to lose it. Like, I have been
Well,
lusting
yeah.
after this girl. And you know what? People pick on Simon. Keep in mind, she was a virgin. That is like a different situation than being with someone who's been with 20 other men that day.
Yep.
If he is regularly paying for it and not, whatnot. So, like, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Like, and if you have not partaken in quite some time and then do partake, and we've talked about this,
Uh-huh.
that's why the first time is to get the passion out, and then second time is really to enjoy yourself.
Right.
So this
That's
boy
why
is
she wanted
like,
to do it again. And he's like, hold up. You were so good.
hold
We
up.
have to wait.
I need 5 minutes. Make it 10. The king of consent then asks if he may touch her back.
No,
Running,
two words.
may
Like,
like
that's about as sexy as lie
may I take the
down.
last sandwich? Running his hands.
Considering you've already been there to ask, may I again? That top tier.
Top tier.
Top tier.
I mean, not top tier to be 2 years, 2 years in marriage and ruining
No,
all your
I think
breaches, but
no, I think from this point on, I mean, now if she's asleep, you better still be asking, but like he doesn't have to ask every time. That's not what I'm saying. This is her official first time.
yeah.
So the time in the carriage, he asks, he doesn't really ask. His face asks and she answers, she nods. And this time he asks again. He needed to ask here. It
Yeah.
is top tier.
So running
But it'd
her
be weird if 15 years from now he's still asking.
running his hands up her legs, gliding between her legs. Penelope is immediately euphoric. Girl is
I was,
living her best life.
I was just thinking, where I said 15 years from now he's still asking. Penn would be like Tosh going, would you just finger bang me already? So sorry, I missed all that stuff you were saying because I was giggling to myself. 10,
Sometimes,
15 years from now would be far different than this pen for sure.
I mean, sometimes we just get impatient, okay? I said Gil is living her absolute best life when he pulls out, and she looks like her world is
Oh, she's
crashing
saying yes,
down.
yes. Yeah.
She's like, "Where are you
She
going?
is almost there. Yeah.
Why did
She
you
is not
stop?"
happy.
Then he asks, "Are you ready?" Clearly she is, sir. And he's asking this question as if she has any idea what she's actually agreeing to, which is when she asks, "Is there more? Please, sir, can I have some more?" Little Oliver Twist over there.
Right. Is there more? And he does his little smile and nod and assures
Well,
her there is.
please, sir. Vanilla, may I have some more? Go on seconds. Colin then
She's ecstatic too when she hears there's more. She's like, hallelujah. This feels this good. And there's more.
Colin then warns that the first time may hurt. Dude proceeds to dive hilt deep on his first thrust. Like, give a girl a bit of time
No, no,
to
no.
adjust,
There's
please.
two. There's two. He goes in, it hurts. She makes that face. And then she kind of like nods a little bit, and you see him go in further. And that's when she's like, and then she's like, oh, there's the second push. They did the whole hymen thing.
All right,
There's two. There's an in and then an all the way in.
can we do it again? Yeah.
It's like she almost taps his back too.
But like, that was a like,
Yeah.
there
I mean,
was
it was
no,
abrupt.
it was super abrupt. There was no, I don't feel like Luke Newton has had a
He
virgin
was
before.
like, no, he was like, I tried. My bad.
I slipped.
It's hard holding this body up on these two arms.
It's actually a really small lounge, might I
It
say.
is. He's like, my arm slipped and I just fell all the way in.
Fell all the way in. I'm sure many
It's
cheaters
like
have
those
used that line
stories.
before.
It's like those stories about like cheating, and they're
Yeah.
like, it was an accident. Like you just tripped and fell in.
So there was this chick who rang into a radio station or something, and she's like, "Oh, like we're 2000 whatever, we've been having a really really rough time with our family. My husband got in a really terrible accident. My kids and I have all been really distraught ever since. And they're like, oh, what happened? And she's like, he slipped and fell into his coworkers. Bleep, bleep, bleep. He just lost the plot because we're all thinking like her husband died, he's become paraplegic.
That's so
I was like, that is not where I thought that was going at all. Because she was like really like she is a good poker face, but
But I
Colin.
mean, I that's like kind of funny to me. I know they needed it to be like that for timing, but because he had just said this may hurt, I won't do
eh,
it on purpose, but
and then does
and then
everything to do it on purpose.
just plows. But I
Ramrod.
think that when it's two people who never done things before, that sort of thing can happen because it feels so good to them that they're like instinctively insert. And I think
Well,
that he wasn't prepared for the holy grail of pen or something.
because I don't know whether circumcisions were going on back then or not, but like,
No, I don't think early 1800. I mean, with
like
Jewish people, yes,
that would
they've
have
been going on
really
for
like
centuries.
think about the dynamics of all that. Ow. So Colin, do your research because that would hurt everyone involved.
Oh, I mean, if he was as aroused as he was, it would have been all the way back. It would have been completely exposed and ready to go.
I'm getting way into the
The
dynamics
hoodie
of
would
this.
be off. The hoodie would be off.
So when he realizes that the shock is wearing off, he checks in that she's okay. And then he begins his pacing, as I call it.
Yeah. After we read the book again for the podcast yesterday, a lot of this does follow that because
It
like
does.
she's tense and then she starts making sounds of
Yes.
pleasure and he
He realizes
realizes he
it's
can
now
go to
gone from
town.
pain to pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, hallelujah, I can enjoy
Mhm.
myself now.
And she instantly, I love the look on Nicola's face. This is like a master class in pen. Like,
Hmm.
I'm going to make this good for this man. I'm going to try so hard. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to make it work. And like the very first thing she does is smack his back. I love it. Like, this girl's
Pen
trying
grabbing
so
onto his
hard.
back like for support. And I love how deeply that they look into each other's eyes in this moment when they're both climaxing together. But like the grabbing at the back, like, I need you closer. I need to be grabbing like every interview. I need to be touching you. Like we're touching as
Yeah.
much as two
And
people
I
can ever
love,
touch,
like,
but
as a female who's had a first time before,
really?
and yes, you are moving your hands and arms but at some point you really do just lock them behind their neck. And she did that. I was like, yes, that is such a first
And
time
like the
thing. Like,
grabbing the
oh, they're
shoulders
into it.
and
I'm
like
just,
getting to
yeah,
feel all of their body tensed in the moment. I don't know why my
yeah. And
my
like,
my accent went super Kiwi right then. I was like, what's happening? Whew, shake it off.
you're getting flustered.
It's the
But I
wine.
love, like, this felt so intimate. Like, these two, I almost felt like it was an adult film just covered up. Like, it seemed very real.
People felt uncomfortable watching it, not because it was bad, but because it was so
Vulnerable
accurately
and real. Yeah.
good.
Yes. And I really hate in romances where they're like miraculously they come together. I talked about that in last week's
I
podcast yesterday. But the fact that it followed the book, like she
I
started,
don't
he
know.
was go
Wait, I
he was going to town and she locked her arms around his neck and she's watching him and he's just like, and I'm gonna swear here because when I watched his face, I was like, he is like, hell, this is the most amazing thing. Like, that's in that moment he realized he'd never had anything like this before. And
so
he was
I'm
about
gonna
to
correct
climax and
you here though, because that's a thing.
I mean, yes, it's a thing, but it doesn't happen every single time like romance novels make it seem like.
Hi,
Exactly at the same
me.
time.
I'm
Exactly.
the in the words of Stephen, I get excited by you being excited.
I get excited by them being excited too, but sometimes I'm thinking about grocery lists. My brain doesn't turn off like sometimes, and sometimes it happens for me and it takes them a little bit longer. I mean, there's just in time, in all of my times, it's not happened at the same time. I think that's like,
But there
to me, that's
are
fantasy.
people out there that it is like that for.
How?
My,
Like,
my
I
husband's real
honestly don't
cute.
understand that. It's not even about that. Like, I mean, now if you're doing foreplay until you are both about to, and then you insert and it just happens, I can see that. Like, well, and you guys have been together in the same relationship for a long time. And yes, I was married for a long time, but we were not in a similar kind of relationship. But it would probably have to take much practice and lots of choreography.
There is much choreography going on. Boy knows how to
Like,
do what
for
he
it to
does,
be,
okay?
but in romances, they're like their first time they come together. Like, and I just read a book where literally he says, "Come for me," and she's instant does. Like, he commands and she
No.
does it. I'm like,
No.
please, I'm rolling my eyes 3 times at this. Like, that doesn't work that
Yeah,
way.
no. I'd be like, fuck off, mate. Like, you don't command
I
me.
seriously, I'm thinking about my doctor's appointment tomorrow. I got the song I don't care going on one part of my brain. Like, I got so much stuff going on in my brain. I just don't even know. And the instant somebody says come for me, it is never happening. You're not telling me what to
No,
do.
and that's the thing. Like, if someone's telling me what to do, like, I'm not about that life. Like, I'd be like, you're done.
You're done. Bye. Go to sleep.
I love seeing as I've now just bared all, but I'm like, it I just wanted to say is a real thing. But
Okay,
now
you're
that
lucky. I'm just
now,
saying, to me, I feel like it's rare. In my experience, has it happened? Yes. Is it the norm? No. And especially for like a first time with the person, when you don't know each other, you don't know, because as you explore with someone, you learn the spots. You
mhm,
learn, like, Monica, 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? You like
mhm,
learn the rhythms and the patterns. But the first time, or even in the first couple months of a relationship, you are going to have times, or if you're somebody may want it more than someone else, you get into it eventually, but there's things listening for the kids there. It's not every single time, and it bothers me in some romance novels
mhm.
that it every single time they come together, or the second someone says come for me, they do. That bothers
I'll
me.
finish the conversation off air because there's some things that I'm not quite. I mean, I know that I'm a pretty open book, but okay. So
Yeah, so eventually
then they both
someday if you
giggles
become a YouTube member, we might post the Ladies Bridgerton after dark.
after dark. So the giggles erupt from her, followed by him. I actually love that they both like after the moment, like they both are just so
Oh,
euphoric to be with each other, that this is real, that they're both in each other's arms. That
I need to rewind
sorry.
because I have to say that we know that when Colin has a most, like, puts a lot of feeling into words, he closes his eyes so he can read the script.
Hmm.
And in this moment, he cannot, like, it's so good. He closes his eyes, but he immediately snaps them open
Because he
because he
wants to see
wants to
her.
watch her climax.
Yes.
And that's directly from the book. Someday I will see her, I will watch her. And Colin is eyes on pen at all times. Every time they've been together,
Hmm.
he must watch. And I think that he is the most empathic
Hmm.
child. Like, Violet's very empathic. I think Colin is her most sensitive child, as in he's sensitive to others, sensitive to their vibe. He always feels Pen's vibe of, like, when she's not incandescently happy.
Hmm.
And I when they first aired the season, every time he touches her hand, every time he's in her space, every time, like, these moments happen and he's directly, like, right in her face watching, he is absorbing her energy. Colin Bridgerton feeds off of Penelope's energy, and I don't even mean in a bad way, like a succubus. It's just
A
she radiates
sunflower from
this.
sunshine.
Yeah,
He is photosynthesis.
he's the bee. He lands and he gets the pollen that becomes his food. Like, he worships his wife, and Luke Newton sold that shit.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
man worships her.
And I love that she had that moment where, because sometimes afterwards can be uncomfortable, like get
Mm-hmm.
lost in the heat of the moment. You see quite often in TV shows two friends who get lost in the heat of the moment. They give in, they
Mm-hmm.
do it. It was great, but then it's like, how do we look at each other now? But they
Yeah,
didn't
when
have
Harry
that.
met Sally. When Harry Met Sally,
Well, I was
when
thinking
after they,
How You Met Your Mother, but yeah.
yeah, when Harry Met Sally, after they did it for the first time, they're just both laying there like, what did we?
In How You Met Your Mother, like they basically do it, and then she's like, "What have I done?" And he goes, she goes, "We're gonna pretend this never happened. We're gonna go to the bar." And he's like, "And I'm gonna tell you about the person I banged last night." And then he goes something like, "Oh, did you hear? I banged the girl from News One weather station."
Well, and I love this moment for them too because they both enjoyed their first kiss. It moved the both of them. They were both into it. Only Penn felt like she wasn't allowed to like it. She wasn't allowed that moment of
Yes.
reverie and celebration of having the her first kiss with the man she
She didn't
loved.
let herself bask in it.
Yeah, and she was so awkward under the tree, like, oh, that'll never happen again, and had to pretend like, it was not what she wanted, and it wasn't more than, just a kiss, whatever. And here, I love their giggle because it almost feels like we get to have it. We don't have to pretend like it's wrong. Like when it's with the right person, it doesn't feel wrong. Like
Well, to
somebody
them, it
like
felt like
the ton makes sex and being compromised and all that stuff is so shameful, it's so scandalous and whatever. And I think this is Penn's moment, kind of like from Wicked, when Elphaba is like, this is the first time I've truly felt wicked, right?
Mhm.
Like she's like, I feel wicked but I don't feel shame. Like she's just so giddy about it that
Well,
she gets to have this.
and it's like in from the book where Penelope is basically saying that that was her way of like saying her vows to Colin, but just the two of them, the most intimate of vows. Like that was basically her marrying him in her own space in her time without anyone else watching, where it's just for them. Like they both knew from that moment on, there is no
Mm-hmm.
going back. There's no getting out of an engagement. We are married. Like this is our people for the rest of our lives. This is it.
Yeah. And in the show, I think the minute Colin announced their engagement, to him, they were married. That's why he said, he didn't say our future Bridgerton name, like our family
Yeah,
or
he's like, no,
anything.
it
She
is already
was his
Bridgerton.
wife.
Yeah,
Like
we're just waiting
that
on the
was his first my
formalities.
wife moment. Yeah, that was his first my wife moment. And you will let me take her out of this room because she is my wife. About to go make sure of it.
Just working on the Featherington air. I'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Be right
Gonna go
back.
make an air, mama.
Away from
Mama
keyboard.
in law. AFK. BRB.
Make it a
BRB.
baby.
Eggplant emoji.
Making it rain.
Portia sends
Featherington.
the mind blown emoji.
Hmm.
The angry emoji.
I really, really, really love, we talked about this yesterday, but I really love how they changed it from the book to being such an angry and just heavy moment to instead being just so checking in
Wondrous.
with each other, both being emotionally
Mm-hmm.
supportive, both making sure they're comfortable with everything. Like it was such a
Equal footing,
it was probably
partnership.
the most raw and vulnerable sex scene that we've probably ever seen on TV.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
and people said it felt like we were watching two lovers like have sex for the first time, like in real, like right in front of us. Like it was almost uncomfortable. Like we were embarging, not impacting. We were invading a private moment
We were
between them.
voyeurs.
Yeah.
We were voyeurs. They made it feel like the audience was committing voyeurism on a very intimate moment that felt very, very real. And as much as they joked in PR about they were really going at it and all
Hmm.
this stuff, like it never felt like Simon and Daphne's quote unquote passion was a lot more exuberant and a little bit more aggressive.
Hmm.
And Kate and Anthony's felt desperate,
Neither of those
right?
truly felt like a first time scenario. This one felt like the awkwardness of a first time. And not
A
awkwardness in
real
a
first
bad
time.
way
Yeah.
of just two people learning each other.
Yes. And I think too, when you look at how Simon treated women and how he felt about women and how Anthony treated women, Sienna in particular, and then how they treated, like that's what they knew. And Colin was very new to the brothel game. You could tell it was not something that he did very often. And he still treated those women with respect
Hmm.
and everything, that this was going to feel a little bit more intimate and feminine forward because it is Colin. Like, I think a lot of these other scenes, and it actually is a testament to Bridgerton because that's probably how it really is. When men go to a brothel to get their education, which is what they did back then, those women already know what they're doing. And their education for the men is with a woman that they don't respect. There's no respect for those women. What their line of work is, there's a shame there. There's that, and there's an entitlement in the men, if that makes sense, because they pay for it. So when these men finally got with a woman that was, I mean, Simon felt, I think he felt entitled in that he did kind of pay for Daphne, not in a brothely way, but in negotiating the marriage contract. Like, I don't need her dowry, meaning, so he's going to care for her. So he's taking responsibility for her because he's burdened with her because of what happened. It kind of gave that vibe to me. And Anthony just is entitled and arrogant, and he feels like he has a right to things. So, like,
I don't think
I think their first times
Anthony's
fit the characters.
I don't think Anthony's empathetic enough to think about how
No.
Munchkin had a go on her first time. I think he's more interested in the passion and getting lost in it all rather than thinking about others' wants or needs or
because he
comfort.
used sex to escape his responsibilities and to avoid big feelings. So yes. I think all of the first times fit the male characters and how they would have experienced sex up to that point. So,
but absolute bravo to Nicola and Luke for making the scene so raw and beautiful. It really was beautiful. Like, it wasn't just sexy.
I cried.
It was a beautiful scene.
I had tears in my eyes when I saw it for the first time because it felt very authentic. And I think it reminded a lot of us fans about our first exploration and stuff like that, and like remembering that person that you first start exploring with.
On that note, I need to go pick up my child from daycare. So for today,
the product of a beautiful moment. Yes. Oh, P.S. Last thing I want to say: the rug is nothing but sunflowers. So the bee did land on the sunflower.
For today's gentle listeners, we will leave it there on next week's episode. If you have anything in particular you would like us to cover or any Bridgerton knowledge you would like to share, please head to our Facebook page, The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please remember to click like, subscribe, and leave a comment wherever you are listening. And if you are wanting us to do any more book to TV series comparisons, please let us know.
Yeah, specific scenes. Like if there's a scene that you, especially for the book fans, if you know there's a scene from the book that got portrayed in, which I think we should do the church scene. I think we should read The Square.
I actually really want to do, I mean, we've already done the episode, but that's okay. I still want to do it anyway. I want to do
the Portia takedown with Felicity. I want to do it so bad. I was thinking about that yesterday. Yes,
because it's one of my favorite book scenes.
It is so
Let's put it in the woodworks. We'll put it in somewhere, and especially because we've just done that scene. So I think it's not too far from when we've done it to do the comparison.
Yeah, so we might do a rewind, and our next podcast will be a revisit. We're gonna give this season a flashback.
Flashback to the flashback. Yeah, all right.
And once again, thank you for listening to the musings of two mad, hot, bothered, flustered women.
Yours truly, Tash the Kiwi.
And Lady Patty.